Morning you guys, it's Karen and I'm here to talk about two of the new skincare products from Dr. Sam's range. So I have got the Flawless Nightly Serum and the Flawless Daily Sunscreen. Dr. Sam Bunting is a cosmetic dermatologist and she also has a YouTube channel. So I think she does have a couple of other products. One is a cleanser which is used with water, so not really my cup of tea. And I think there's also a moisturiser that can be used before the sunscreen, but I like to use a sunscreen and moisturiser in one. So let me talk about the sunscreen first. I've got my notes in front of me if you see me looking down. This is an SPF 50 and it's broad spectrum, which is fantastic. It costs £29 and it comes in this pump bottle. I love the packaging. I absolutely love the packaging. I think it's really nice looking, it's really nice and sleek, and I love that it's got a pump on it. Claims on the website are that it's a cosmetically elegant broad spectrum dream that defies your preconceptions about sunscreen. Like a silky safety belt for your skin, it calms and coddles blemish prone skin with a soft focus primer like finish and makes your morning routine run smoothly. Oh, I didn't notice that it had a soft focus primer like finish, but I do love it. And I have got a video of me putting this on. Let me tell you about the ingredients first. So it has 11.8% zinc, 7% octinoxate and 5% niacin. So the 5% niacin is wonderful to have in this. That's a really great addition to a sunscreen, I think. And I don't think I've seen that, certainly not at that percentage anywhere else. There's no alcohol, no fragrance obviously, and as I said, it's a lovely feeling product. Octinoxate is the only ingredient there that I have any issue with, and that's because it has been shown to disrupt hormones. There does need to be more human studies, I admit that. There's not a huge amount of research behind it, but it is showing to disrupt hormones. So that would be something I'd prefer to avoid. But the second thing, which is kind of known, is that it is very bad for the environment. Octinoxate has been banned in Hawaii now because of how badly it's affecting the coral reefs. So that's an ingredient I would personally prefer not to have in a sunscreen. The directions for this are to use after moisturiser, which I found interesting. I never put a moisturiser on and then an SPF because I feel like it might dilute it for a start, depending on if you've got the time to wait for it to absorb fully and then put it on, then maybe not. But also I feel like there are products that I can use that moisturise my skin enough with an SPF in it. So I don't feel that I need to use two separate products. So I went ahead and used it just as I would any other SPF on its own. And I thought I'll use it with nothing underneath it to see if it makes my skin tight, if it's moisturising enough, etc, etc. And it was. I absolutely love it. It did not, for my skin anyway, it didn't need a moisturiser underneath it. And I have got a few things that I will use, like amino acids, hyaluronic acid, that kind of thing, if a sunscreen makes my skin feel dry and tight, and this didn't at all. My skin type, I would say, is combination at the moment. That's as much as I can say about it, because I've gone through being very, very oily to being dry when I was using tretinoin to now starting to be oily again. So I would say it's probably combination. There's no white cast on this. It doesn't feel greasy at all. It's a really, really lovely, as she says, elegant formula. In nice packaging, and £29 I think is a reasonable price for this as well, and I think that is about the same as the Paula's Choice one I use. I would still continue to use the Paula's Choice one, unfortunately, simply because of the octinoxate in here. I would prefer that not to be in here, but it may be that without that it would have a little bit more of a white cast, or they'd need to put something else in it. But I love the fact that it's got niacinamide in it as well. I just think this is a really, really good product. Next, onto the Flawless Nightly Serum. This one comes in a 30ml bottle. So it's the same type of bottle, the same width, it's just a little bit shorter, you can see. So this one is 50ml, the SPF is 50ml, and this one is 30ml, but this one is actually more expensive. So this is £39. The claims for this one are that it's a featherweight serum with that flawless signature silky smooth texture that absorbs rapidly without stickiness, and it's formulated with 4 outstanding multitasking actives. Definitely is a featherweight serum. It absorbs rapidly, yes. Without stickiness, yes. I was actually blown away when I read the ingredients in here. I had ordered this serum knowing that it had bakuchiol in it, and that was my main interest. And also knowing that with it being Dr. Sam, she was unlikely to put any alcohol or fragrance in it. And I knew that you guys would want a review as well. So that's why I ordered it. But when I looked at the ingredients, which was after I had used it a couple of times actually, it has in it 2% gram-active retinoid. I've said before, gram-active retinoid is, I don't put it in the category of retinoids. To me, it is a retinoid ester, and it is weak in my opinion. That's what the current research shows. There is promising research, but it's not yet a proven ingredient for aging, etc., etc. But it's one that I've said before, I'd be quite happy to have in my routine because it's a real inoffensive but promising ingredient. So it's got 2% gram-active retinoid. It's got 1% bakuchiol, which I knew about. Actually, I'd asked you guys to let me know if you knew the ingredients, but of course then I did my research and found it out. So it's 1% bakuchiol, which is great. 10% niacin, which is fantastic, and 5% azelaic acid, which is also amazing. Some really good ingredients in there, and some really good levels of ingredients, you know, really good percentages of ingredients. It's not just a 0.5%, it's 2%, 5%, 1%, 10%. So yeah, I was really excited to see that, and it totally explained why I used this 2 nights in a row using one pump all over my face and neck. And I know that I should read the directions first, and I should look at the ingredients first, and I would if it was somebody that I didn't necessarily trust. But on this occasion I got it and just thought, you know, it's a serum with bakuchiol, there won't be any issue. So I used it for 2 nights in a row, and the following day when I cleansed my face, I had this kind of red flush to my face. And at the time I was thinking, I knew that it was from this because it's the only other thing I'd introduced into my routine. And I thought, wow, I wonder if she uses a different kind of bakuchiol, because I haven't had this with any other 1% bakuchiol. I haven't had this feeling on my skin. But when I looked at the ingredients, that will be from the azelaic acid. I have used azelaic acid before and need to be very, very careful with it. I didn't have any irritation whatsoever. My skin just felt flushed, and I knew that I had used something that may well, if I continued to use it, make it a bit too sensitive. But when you look at her directions, she gives the perfect directions, which are to use, I think she says to use half a pump. Let me check because I want to give you the right information. Yeah, start off with a small amount, so half a pump, she says, applying every other day. Apply moisturizer on top once fully absorbed. Yeah, and then it says we recommend a slow increase in use after 2 to 4 weeks to daily use. As skin becomes more tolerant, you can try using a full pump, and she's talking about the skin cycle, etc. So I should have read that first. But you know, there was no disaster. My skin, like I said, it didn't feel sore, it didn't feel stingy, it actually felt quite nice. It felt like, do you remember I used the Nip and Fab, was it a glycolic mask, and my face was bright red afterwards? It felt like that. It just felt hot, and it was almost like my skin warning me that if you continue on you will get sensitive skin, so slow it down. So it was good, and yeah, it didn't feel itchy, there was no lumps. Using all my other products didn't sting, which can happen if my skin does get sensitive. So it was absolutely fine. So I didn't use it that evening, and then I've used it every other evening, but I have been using a full pump, as you can see from the video of me applying it, and have had no issues whatsoever. Both of these items, by the way, are vegan and cruelty free, which is just fantastic. And this feels lovely. It really does feel the way that it's described. It feels like a silky serum. It absorbs well, it doesn't feel greasy. It says to use a moisturiser after it, as you would with any serum, but honestly you could forget, because I put it on and I really wanted to wait until it was fully absorbed and see how it felt before using a moisturiser, and I didn't feel like I needed one. You know, I nearly forgot to put my night cream on because my skin actually did feel moisturised. You definitely do need it, especially with all those actives in it. Something else I should have mentioned for both of them, neither of them balled up on my skin, peeled at all. And you know that I have been looking for a niacin product that doesn't ball up on my skin. Every niacin product I use normally does cause my skincare to ball up, and this didn't at all. Neither did the sunscreen, and the sunscreen has niacinamide in it as well. I really have nothing bad to say about this, and the only thing for me is it's expensive. £39 for one product. I don't think she's overpriced it. That's not what I'm saying, because there is some really good actives in it. But for me, I don't know if it would work out. I don't know if it will work out as affordable as what I'm currently doing, but I'm going to have a look at that, because I do have azelaic acid at the moment and I'm using it. I do want to include niacin in my routine. I do want to include bakuchiol, and I'm happy to have Gran-Active retinoid in there. So Gran-Active retinoid is the only one that I probably wouldn't go out and buy, but those other three, I think the combination of those might justify the price of this, if that makes sense. And how much easier is that? And I think she does say that she wants to simplify skincare so that you are only having to use one, and you don't need to think about what can I layer with what, and can I use this, this and this, and it's not at such a low level that you feel you need to top it up. You know, I think using these two in your routine would give you pretty much everything you need if you have acne prone skin, if you have any aging issues, if you have any texture issues. You know, it's kind of, those ingredients are covering quite a lot of issues. And honestly, I don't know how she's done it, but she's kind of covered every skin type and every skin issue pretty much in these products, because the sunscreen, I would say, would work for dry skin, because like I said, my skin can get very, very tight if I don't have a moisturising enough product. But even if this alone is not enough, she's got another moisturiser you can use underneath. I don't think it would be a problem for oily skin, because it isn't greasy, it sits really well under makeup. And same with the serum, you know, it hasn't dried my skin out. I didn't say that. I've actually now been using it for a week and a half, using it every other day. So I am going to start to increase soon to every day, because I've had no issues at all using it every other day, a full pump. Yeah, so I don't think I don't think there'd be any issues for dry skin, any issues for oily skin at all. If you've got sensitive skin, then clearly follow her directions and only use half a pump and see how you get on. I even think I can see some results. You know, I feel like my skin is looking better, because I have been trying a lot of foundations, which you'll know if you've been watching me. If you see my Instagram, I posted 3 foundations I bought from Feel Unique that were on sale. But every single foundation I tried wasn't lasting on my skin. It was looking terrible after a few hours. And so I thought, is it just my skin? You know, at some point you've got to go, all these foundations can't be bad. It must be my skin. I don't feel it's been looking as nice lately. But the foundation I've put on today, it is the first time I've tried it, so it could be the foundation. It's the Laura Mercier Silk Cream one. But also I feel like my skin looks better. It's starting to look better underneath. And yeah, I'm really happy with it. The only thing I think that would be missing, that some people might want to put in their routine, is a vitamin C. But I've always said I don't think vitamin C is essential to a routine. I do like the ordinary vitamin C in silicone, so that's something I could just put on my pores underneath the sunscreen if, you know, if I wanted to include it, and that's what other people could do as well. You could put your vitamin C serum underneath your SPF. So that's everything to tell you about these. I love the sunscreen, but probably won't repurchase simply because of the octinoxate. I love the serum, and it's highly likely I'll repurchase this, even though it's expensive. But I need to have a look at all my other products and how much they, you know, the ones that I enjoy and how much they add up to. But I can see me using this again for sure. So I hope that that was useful to you. Please let us know what your experience has been if you've tried these products. And that's everything. I will list all of my makeup in the description, and I'll speak to you again.